Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Brendan. I'm back here today, or SkilledOne, as you may know me now. That's my new name. So, here's another Arma 3 tutorial. Altis Life 4.4, the video that you guys have been waiting so many goddamn months for. It's finally fucking here. Finally here. So, let's get started today. We're going to make a new folder, call it Altis Life. Doesn't really matter what you name it, this is just where I'm going to house the server. So, in my downloads, fucking brilliant. In these downloads, I have my SteamCMD, so what I'm going to do is copy that over. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to run this real quick. It's going to download some of its required updates. And once it's done doing that, we'll log into that. And then we can proceed to download the Arma 3 server. So I had someone say while I'm waiting for these updates that this program or SteamCMD steals your credentials for Steam. Alright. First off, that's not true. Okay, this is made, as you can see, Steam Console Client, Valve Corporation. It's made by Valve themselves. I didn't make this. You know, it's on their website. You know, I'm going to be providing a download link. Like, I'm not even going to be providing a zip file anymore. I'm literally just going to be providing download links because at this point in time, it's probably just best that you guys just download it so you'll probably work with an updated version. And so, like I said, I always do these tutorials raw too. There's no script, there's no nothing. It's just coming me straight, like just recording it. So, first thing I'm going to be doing is logging in. So, what you do is you type in login, and then you just type in your username and click enter. So, I'm going to, and then it'll ask for your password, and then a Steam authentication code from your mobile phone if you use that. And I'm going to come back after I'm done logging in, guys. So, be right. Alrighty, guys. So, I'm back. I already typed in my password and everything. And as you can see, I typed login, my username, and now I already closed SteamC down and reopened it back up and just typed this. So it's going to use my cache credentials from the last time I logged in. So once you see logged in okay and waiting for license info okay, then what you have to do next is type in app_update. Let me actually type in the window here. App_update 233780. Now, basically you just have to wait for this to download the Arma 3 server, and I'll catch you back when it's done downloading. Alrighty, now when it says success app 233780 is fully installed, then you know that SteamCMD successfully downloaded the Arma 3 server. So now if we go into our Steam apps folder here, common, Arma 3 server, now we have our newly and freshly downloaded Arma 3 server. Okay, so now we can proceed to type quit, and the SteamCMD will close. Now going back to my downloads here, one of the most important things that we need to install is a Microsoft Visual C++ Redistributable. And the reason for this is it's required by EXTDB for Altis Life to connect with the database. So I already have it installed, so that's why it says repair and uninstall. So obviously it'll probably just have a button down here that says install, so just install that, get that out of the way, and you should be good to go there. Then what we're going to do here is we're going to install the MySQL server. So I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with this last time. I'm going to make this very specific, and I'm going to go into as much detail here as I can. So click I accept the license terms. And now here's what you want to do. I'm going to go custom. Alright, so once you click custom, go next. Now, click this little box here, little plus there, and then the plus there. Select the MySQL server and click this arrow. Or here, we got to actually, I'm going to install the 64-bit version, which I recommend you do if you have a 64-bit server or computer. So I'm going to install that. Then I'm going to go down to applications, and I'm going to install the MySQL Workbench 64-bit version. And this will allow you to connect to your MySQL server and edit information such as cop ranks or licenses or amount of money or whatever inside an actual, like for a player, for example. So click both those arrows over, and that's all you need in this program. Once you have these two things over here, both 64-bit or whatever, you know, 32-bit, whatever you need, then click next. And click, now it wants you to check the requirements, so execute that. So I'm going to install it because I don't already have it installed. See, so now it shows that I do have the requirement. And then you're going to click next, and it's going to actually download both the server and the Workbench for you. So we're going to click execute, and it's going to download both of them real quick, and then it's going to install them both. And then we'll be proceeding into configuring the MySQL server. So alrighty, now that both of these are done downloading and installing, we're going to click next, and see it says it's ready to configure, so we're going to click next. And now I suggest you read these. Basically, it's just saying that if this is a development machine, it's going to use a minimal amount of memory. Server machine, it'll say medium, and a dedicated machine to the MySQL. I suggest you just do development machine. I mean, especially if you're doing this on your own computer. Like I said, I don't recommend you do an ARMA 3 server on your own computer, and I already said this in my last video, but you know, it's best you just go development machine. Now, once you have selected development machine, we're going to be going, you just have to click next, and it's going to ask for a root password, so I'm just going to put test. I mean, honestly, it's not going to stay up. I don't, you know. And another important part is that you add a MySQL user account. You don't have to, but I highly suggest it, especially if you're going to connect to it from your, connect to the server from your own computer. You know, and this is on a dedicated server somewhere else. So set it to DB admin, make it whatever username you want. I'm just going to make it test, and the password I'm going to make test and test. And especially if you're connecting to it remotely, so like let's say this is my dedicated server, and I want to connect to it on my own personal computer at home, then you definitely want to have it set to all hosts. Or if you have a dedicated server on your own home network, you could set it to just localhost. But like I said, keep it to all hosts if you're going to connect to it remotely. And then click OK, and then next. And do configure MySQL server as a Windows service. So then that'll turn your MySQL server on anytime your computer starts up or your dedicated server starts up. Or, you know, obviously that checkbox is right here. This is just the service name. I suggest you keep that the same. Click next. Now, you don't really need this, so just click next. And then this is basically going to show if it works or not. So we're going to click execute. So it's going to do things like add the port 3306 to the firewall. Now, you may need to do this externally on your own router. That is an important note of this video. If your router, you know, you have to add 3306, I mean, you shouldn't, but sometimes you have to, so definitely check that. That may be a reason why you cannot connect to the MySQL server. So remember that as well. Now, once it's done with that, you click next, and yeah, we're going to have MySQL Workbench start after startup, sure. So now we just installed the MySQL server, and as you can see here, it already came with the connection to the MySQL server already set up. Now we just have to type in a little test password here, click OK, and boom, we're into our MySQL server that we just made. Perfect. So for now, what we're going to do is close MySQL Workbench. We don't need that just yet anymore. And now what we're going to do is pull up the Altis Life framework here, and we're going to copy altis_life.altis into the MP missions folder here. Now we're going to go back out, and we are going to copy life_server, but we're not going to paste it in here just yet. We're going to create a new folder, call it at life_server. Very important. Now we're going to create another folder in here called add-ons, all lowercase. And then when we paste the live server in here, we have to go to PBO manager and pack. Now you may say, but Brendan, I don't see this PBO manager pack into PBO. You have to install a program called PBO manager, and I'm using version 1.4 beta, I guess. So I will provide a link to that, and then you should, after a computer restart or something, be able to see PBO manager, like this little option down here, and then pack into a PBO. Once you've done that, you can delete the folder and just leave the PBO in there. So now we back out, and now we're in our main server root directory again, and we are going to back out to extdb here, and we are going to go open the Windows folder, and we are going to drag extdb2 folder in there, and we're going to drag tbbmalloc.dll. So, like I say, for everyone, I know some people say extract it first, and then it won't say the DLL is blocked. Just check it regardless. Just properties. Mine's not blocked, but sometimes it may pop up a message here saying, oh, Windows security, whatever, it's blocked. Just unblock it. I mean, obviously, it looks like I'm not going to have that problem this time around, but just something to be looking out for. So once you've done that, we are going to open up extdb config here. I'm going to be editing it with Notepad++. Again, I'll be providing a link in the description. And we are going to go down here, and we are going to change MySQL example to Altis Life, and we're going to change the database. Now, we have to make a database still in our MySQL server, so we will come back to the database name. But for now, I'm going to put my username test in that I put. Not testing, test. Okay, stop. And then I'm going to be putting the password I made, which was test. And now, since I have the Arma 3 server on the same server as the MySQL server, I'm just going to keep it to this IP address. However, if you're doing it remotely, like your MySQL server is on a different server than your Arma 3 server, then you'll have to specify an IP and a port if that's different. Okay, so now we are going to open our MySQL Workbench, and we are going to reconnect to our local instance that we had set up. So I just typed in test, if you're wondering. That's the password I have set for mine. And we are going to go back to our downloads and back into the framework, because we have here an Altis Life SQL text file. And this will create the database for our Altis Life server. So now, we have this here, and we're going to copy this, and we're going to be creating a new, we're going to actually go back to our local instance and create a schema. Now, this is called basically a database, or what I could have done is we could have just copied it. We could have copied all of this, go over here into query 1, paste all of it. Now, an important part is that you change this Arma 3 to root or whatever your username is for the MySQL server. So I got to change all of these to root real quick. And what these do, by the way, is like if a car blows up, it'll remove it from the person's garage. Reset life vehicles, delete dead vehicles, delete old houses, stuff like that. So once you've set all these to root or whatever your username is, it'll also create a database called Altis Life. You click run, and if you see all green here and click the little refresh button, I see all my tables and I see all my stored procedures. It worked perfectly. And our database is called Altis Life. So see, now we'll be going back over here to where it asks for the database name, and we'll just type in Altis Life. As simple as that. And click save, or I did Control S, or you can click the save button at the top. Minimize that, minimize this, and now we should. So now we have everything installed for the Arma 3 server. Now another thing, in this part of the video, you can either go two routes. I'm going to be using TADST, and the only reason why is because I know a lot of people sometimes struggle with bat files, and or I'm going to be providing a bat file if you want to use that as well. So it's really your choice to decide. Personally, I like to use bat files, but again, everyone's different. So I'm going to be using TADST, and I will be providing a download link in the description for that. So this is the TADST method if you're still watching. So here I'm just going to be pasting in TADST, and all you got to do is run it. And then you could type in a server name. I'm just going to call it test, a password to get into the server test, admin password test. Max players, I don't care, it's 10. Port info, this tells you what ports to open. And so another thing we have to do is select our server file. By clicking those three dots, you click the Arma 3 server, open. And then you go to rules over here, disable voting enabled, turn on BattleEye, and go over to missions, select Altis Life.altis, go to mods, select extdb2 and life server, And also go to here and click persistent battlefield. So once you have all that checked, then we will go to launch, and it'll launch our Arma 3 server. And if I set everything up correctly, we shall be able to connect to our Arma 3 server in game, and I'll be right back to see if it worked. Alrighty, so now we see our server up here in the server browser, and if you're wondering how I got it to see that way, I just went to direct connect. I typed in my server's IP, and I clicked join, and it showed up here. Double click on this, type in the password I put in, which was test. Click OK. And civilian. Okay. And now it's going to proceed to be downloading the mission file. Now that our mission file is done downloading, it's loading up the server. So this error here, it's not a big deal. You can just click close, but basically it's just saying you need to put your own cop uniform.jpg in there or it can't find it. So now we click continue. And so here we go. I saw a lot of comments about this. So since Tanoa just came out, there's a bunch of new assets into the game. So Spyglass, if you don't add those assets yourself, you're gonna have to. So to disable Spyglass, unless you add the assets yourself, which I may make a separate video on, to disable Spyglass, you have to go into our MP missions, altis_life.altis, then right-click config_master.hpp. And like I said, I'm gonna be using Notepad++ for now, and Spyglass toggles right here, and I'm gonna be changing that to false. And then I'll turn Spyglass off, and then what we do from there is we click launch again, and our server will launch once more. And I'll wait for the server to come back up online, and we can see if we can get into our Arma 3 server now. As you can see, our server now is back online, so we can double click that. I'm going to type in my password again. Okay. And we shall see. And we'll probably have to we will have to download the mission file again. And you may be asking why, and the reason why is because we changed one value and one file, so that file is considered modified, which means we have to download the whole mission file again. I know, kind of inefficient, but that's how Arma 3 is programmed to work, so. Alrighty, now that we have finished receiving the mission file, like I said, we got that same error. I'm just going to ignore it. And now you're going to click continue. And as you can see, you've got this working if you have the spawn menu pop up. And you click spawn, continue, and boom. Altis Life 4.4 working. So, as I said earlier, do not, Spyglass, you saw me turn it off. I highly don't recommend that you do that, but you should do that unless you're going to update the assets for Spyglass to include all the new Tanoa stuff. So, with that being said, guys, this is the completed tutorial. I hope this works for you guys. If you have any problems, leave them in the comments, and I will try my best to answer them. I miss going back and reading and trying to help people out, but it is hard with a bunch of you guys trying to create servers and trying to do one-on-one help, because it usually takes like an hour or so to arrange everything. And although this video was quite short, or shorter than some of my other ones, I still hope that you guys can set up a new server using Altis Life 4.4. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day. Have a nice day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.